everyone, Miss Thea here from the Fox Lake District Library, and thank you for joining me for another Messy Art. This month's Messy Art is a little bit special because we did partner with the Village of Fox Lake to put together these super cute flower pot kits that you could do for Mother's Day or maybe someone special in your life. Or maybe even just for spring, because now that we finally have the nice weather, it's a good time to start planting. And we also are very thankful to the Home Depot to donate all of the little pots to our library that we're going to be using for these kits. So a big thank you to the Village and the Home Depot. So if you were to come and pick up one of these kits, you could do that by just coming on into the library during our open hours or by a curbside pickup. And if you were to get a kit, let me show you what you would find inside. So you are going to get a little miniature clay pot. You're going to get 3 different acrylic paint colors, and remember with the acrylic paint, if you do get it on you, it does kind of get messy and stained, so make sure you wear maybe a yucky shirt while you're working on this. And we're going to have 3 different colors in there. So we're going to have blue and yellow, and can anyone tell me what this one is? Very good, it's red. And these are our primary colors that we're going to be using, and we might actually mix them a little bit to maybe make purple or green or orange, so we'll see what we want to do. You'll also get a little bag of soil to plant our seeds, and which you see here, there will be about 3 or 4 seeds in this little bag here. We'll probably only plant 1, maybe 1 or 2, because this pot is kind of small, so you don't want to put them all in there, but we have some extras just in case. Maybe you want to plant them in another pot at your house. So some other supplies that you're going to need that are not included in the bag is I'm going to be using a small paper plate to paint on, napkin or paper towel, and a couple of brushes. I have a big one, a thicker one here as you can see, and then a thinner one to maybe do some more detail work, and then a small cup of water for after we plant our seed. We want to go ahead and water it. This is my little pot that I already did. I don't know if you could see, I used some bright colors. And then I went ahead and used my finger actually to do the flowers on here, which I'll probably do today, and I'll go ahead and show you how we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is put a base coat on the pot, or you could leave it like this. I wanted to do a base coat of yellow, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get started on that now. So I'm going to put this on my paper plate, and then I'm going to use that thicker brush that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and paint this pot. And this is actually a good activity you could do outside now that the weather is getting nicer. And then plus too, the pot, the paint will dry a little bit faster on that pot. So as you can see, I'm just doing a nice thin coat of paint all the way around. I did end up doing 2 coats on here just to make it a little bit darker. And the drying time in between was maybe 5 or 10 minutes. As long as you don't put it on too heavy, it dries pretty quickly. So you want to go ahead and paint that all around. I'll do it like this here so you could see. So whatever color you like, and if you want red, you can go ahead and do red, or you could do the blue, or if you want to try mixing some colors, you can do that. I'll probably mix some colors, but maybe in a little bit. All right, so go ahead and get a nice coat on there all the way around. All right, and as you can see, it is a little thin. That's why I chose to do 2 coats on here. So go ahead and get that all covered. And once you get that first coat on, just go ahead and set it aside to dry, and then you can repeat that and make it a little bit darker. And I actually have one that I did do 2 coats on, so I'm going to set this one aside, and I'll show you here. Let me just wipe my hands really quickly. So this is the one that I already did that has 2 coats on it. So as you can see, it's a little bit brighter and more covered than the other one. So that's why I went ahead and did that. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little design on mine now. If you take a look, I kind of did some polka dots here up at the front. You could do that with a Q-tip or your fingertip or even the back of this little brush here. I'm going to go ahead and try that today. But I think what I want to do first is maybe mix some colors. So my favorite color is purple. So does anyone know 2 colors that we would mix together out of these 3 that I have that might make purple? I'll give you a little hint. I'm going to use blue. And so if we want to make purple, do you think we're going to add red or yellow to it? Any ideas? Yes, that's right. We're going to go ahead and add some red. And that is a secondary color, which will be purple here. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wipe this yellow off of my brush. And I'm going to take a little bit of red and put it on my plate. And then a little bit of blue. And I'm going to start mixing that together. We may have to add a little bit more red or blue, but as you can see, it's starting to make like a dark purple color, which is what I was wanting. So if you keep mixing that, now we've got that purple I was looking for. So we use red and blue to make purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, it gets a little tricky when you're painting. You kind of want to hold it like this. If you hold it like this, you might get some paint on. So I'm going to use the bottom of my brush here and dip it in the paint, and as you can see, it is kind of small, but it's making little polka dots on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that all the way around the top of my pot just to add some decoration to it. I might actually add a little bit of red in there as well after I'm done with the purple. I'll tilt this here so you could see. I'm just kind of adding some dots on there. And you'll want to go all the way around. Maybe you want to add zigzag lines, or maybe you don't want to do any sort of pattern. Maybe you want to leave it plain or put your name on it, or maybe mom's name or someone special to you. So keep going and putting those on. So see how the tip of that brush worked really well? Just put those on. And I think I'm going to add some red ones on there. So I'm just going to dip it in the red and add some along the top there. And you might want to take breaks in between to make sure the paint is dry, because it can get kind of tricky to hold it in paint. You could use a hair dryer too. All right, let's take a look and see how I did there. How does that look? Thank you, yeah. I think I like that. Okay, so now that I have that all set, I'm gonna go ahead and start painting some flowers on. And I'm gonna have to mix 2 colors again to go ahead and make green. So can anyone guess what 2 colors from the red, blue, and yellow we're gonna mix together to make green? Any guesses? Yes, very good. We're going to do blue and we're going to do yellow, and that is going to put green together for us. So I'm going to put this aside, and you might want to wipe off that paint that we had on here before. And then I'm going to take a little bit of blue. I don't need a lot of green, so I'm just going to use a little bit, and then some yellow. And let's mix that together. And as you can see, we're starting to make the green. Now I'm going to use this to make a little stem and some leaves for my flower. So I'm just going to draw a little line and a little heart here, almost like that, all around my pot. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of those. You don't have to do this. You can do any sort of design you like. I just liked the flowers because it reminded me of spring and Mother's Day, and we are doing a little flower pot. So I'm going to go ahead and do 3 on here to fill that up. I think that looks good. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a little flower pot or little flower decoration. And what I did for that was I just used my pinky and dipped it in the paint, and then went ahead and dipped it on the pot all around by the stem. So I'll show you how I did that. So I'm going to use, let's do blue in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and just dip my finger there, and you're just going to do a little dot like that, and like that, And one more. And then I'm going to wipe that off my finger and then go back and do that again with red to finish up my flower. I'm going to dip it in there again. And then I'm just going to go all around the blue. Okay, get a little bit more paint. A little bit more. And as you can see, there's my little design for my flower pot. Okay, so now we are ready to go ahead and plant our seeds. I did use a hair dryer to dry the paint on here, which just took a couple of minutes, so that way we could go ahead and work together on getting our seeds planted. So what we're gonna need is that little baggie of soil, our seeds, and then our little cup of water. And you really don't need much of the water because this little pot is so small. So the first step you're gonna wanna do is take some of this soil out. And you can either use your hands or just kind of dump it in like this. And I would say get it about halfway or 3/4 the way full. You can see I went ahead and put that in there like that. And then I'm going to take 2 seeds from my little baggie here. I believe these are sunflower seeds. It'll be a surprise of what you're going to get in your kit. But that'll be fun too. So we'll go ahead and put those seeds in like that. You just kind of push them down a little bit. And then you're going to put a little bit more soil on the top, and you're going to fill it all the way to the top of the pot. You can move it around a little bit with your fingers. You don't have to smush it in there or anything. Just pat it down a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay. So as you can see, I have that full there. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add a teensy little bit of water. And this is something you might want to do every day or every other day. Just keep an eye on it. See if it gets dry. And then one more thing that you'll have to do with this before your plant starts to grow is put it in the sun, because it needs the sunlight and a little bit of that water to go ahead and grow. So this is our little flower pot kit that we have together for you this month for Messy Art, and thank you for joining me, putting yours together with me. And again, a big thank you to the Village of Fox Lake for helping us get these kits together, and the Home Depot for donating the pots. We do have about 150 of these, so we have so many to give away. One per person, but just give us a call here at the library or stop by and we'll go ahead and get that over to you. I want to thank you all for joining me, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.